I've got a feeling I'm going to get through these a lot quicker than I thought I would. I thought I was going to be here for hours, but I've got a feeling it's been less than an hour because I haven't drank this yet. Ash ate one before you. 4 questions from Ash ate one before you. Number 1. Coffee and muffin or beer and Pringles? I'm not a massive coffee drinker, I have to be honest. So naturally I'd have to say beer and Pringles. But Pringles all seem to taste the same to me, and I find the tube really frustrating because my hands aren't that big, but it's frustrating you can't get your hand right down to the bottom. You have to sort of do that with it to even get it halfway down. So that's quite frustrating because you can't eat them as quick as you want to. Do you get what I mean? So that's quite frustrating. But also I think Pringles do taste the same to me. They all seem to taste the same. Like certain things, like yogurt. Yogurt always tastes the same. All yogurts, to me, they taste the same. The same Pringles. All Pringles seem to taste the same. They've got the flavour goes over the top. But then once that's gone, there's like this underlying Pringle taste. And actually, beer and Pringles I'll go with, but it'd have to be salt and vinegar. Because I'm not big on salt and vinegar. I don't mind it. It's not my favourite flavour, but something my mate showed me when I was at university, and I always do it when I've got a chance. Is if you've got actually going back to Stars of Dead's 10,009, I was going to say favourite alcoholic beverage. I'd have to say discount Guinness, because it does nasty things to me, and you always know you drunk it the next morning, if you get what I mean. You know, there are certain repercussions, certain symptoms that you've drunk Guinness or any sort of stout like that. So back to Ash ate one before you. Oops, shit. Beer and Pringles. It'd have to be beer and the Pringles would have to be salt and vinegar, because my mate, when I was at university, he showed us this thing. If you get ready salty crisps, generally ready salty crisps, and you can dunk them in lager. It was lager style. We've experimented and shown that you can do it with different sorts of things. So you got like a pint of lager, just a packet of crisps, and you can dunk salt and vinegar crisps in lager. They just seem to go. Try it. Try it next time you've got a pint of lager and a packet of salt and vinegar crisps. It works. It works. Believe me. I'm just going to go and top this up. I'll be back. I'm back. See, I bought it in 330ml bottles, but they don't. 2 of them don't fit in a pint glass. So I much prefer drinking out of a pint glass than drinking out of a bottle. But 2 of them don't fit in there. Pardon me. Sorry. Oh, right. Right. Question 2 from Ash81 before you. What 8-bit shooter would you like to see remade? Notes. Now this is quite difficult because a lot of the 8-bit shooters I used to play have already been remade, and I had to think back to ones that hadn't been remade. I mean, when I was playing 8-bit shooters, I was young, but I did have a lot, and I used to gravitate towards shooters, and because they even then they appealed to me. I've never been like a massive aficionado, but I've always gravitated towards them. But I think I was almost maybe a little bit too young to really understand them and to get like a favourite. So I do remember playing them, and I used to play on my Amstrad, and you never used to get very far though. So I've noted down a few that I can remember. Like Xenon 2. I think hasn't Xenon 2 been remade? P47 Thunderbolt, Dragon Spirit. I think Dragon Spirit I used to have. Xevious, I think Xevious, it was a NES game, wasn't it? I never played that, but I can remember the arcade game. I think it was in the arcades. Correct me if I'm wrong. And all the 1940, 1941, 1942, 1943 games. But they've all been remade, and I definitely had Forgotten Worlds on my Amstrad. But I'd have to go with Xenon 2. I don't think it's been remade, because I have a lot of fond memories of that. Although obviously it was on, there were versions on the Amiga and the Atari ST. So I'd have to go with Xenon 2, but also an honourable mention to a couple of Amsoft games. Probably one of the games that got the most play on my Amstrad was Harrier Attack. I was thinking about it now. It was quite not particularly PC game, because like it's Harrier. It's really basic. You're Harrier. You take off vertically from your carrier, and you fly overseas, and you have to take out or fly past all the enemy jets. And then when you get to the towns, you have to bomb it to shit, and that's quite sinister. It didn't really register back then. So like I said, I was quite young. I was a youngster, so it didn't really register. But I can remember really enjoying it. I remember getting really excited every time I made it to the town. You fly quite low. I can remember formulating the strategy. You fly quite low over the town, even though you get shot at by anti-aircraft and like sort of Scud missiles shoot at you. Fly quite low and just hammer the bomb button and take out all these buildings and houses. But obviously the context, the subtext of that didn't really register as a little kid. So, but the game I'd like to see remade is Xenon 2, actually, or even Dragon Spirit. I wouldn't mind seeing Dragon Spirit remade. I like that sort of multiple head idea. That's pretty good. So, number 3 from Ash81 before you, Lady Gaga, male, female, alien. I think she's something altogether unique. Her music isn't for me by any stretch of the imagination, but I can appreciate the role she plays because she's obviously as mad as a box of frogs, and I can appreciate that. So I would say she's something other than those three. I wouldn't say she's male, female, or alien. She's almost like one of those Star Trek aliens that doesn't really have a form. It's, what's the word? It's it's like a sort of cloud. No, not a cloud of gas. There's always a Star Trek alien that's like a cloud of gas, and they can't really make head or tail of it. Or they can't really fathom the idea of this alien. They don't know how to combat it. I think I would have to say she's none of those really. She's something else. Yeah, is that okay? If I was going to have to choose one of them, I'd say she's an alien, obviously. So, yeah. And number 4, Daffy and Donald Duck, who would win in a fight? Well, that's obvious. It would have to be Daffy, because Donald Duck's got no trousers on. Donald Duck's an idiot, isn't he? Daffy, obviously, Daffy by his nature is a bit insane. He's Daffy, that's why he's called Daffy Duck. And I mean, if you're a little bit bonkers, that's always good in a fight situation, because you don't really have a grip on reality, and so you don't feel the need to hold back. It means people will be scared of you because they don't know how far you'll go. So I'd have to say Daffy, but who was Daffy's nemesis? Was it Yosemite Sam? Or Marvin the Martian? Either way, both the ducks had speech impediments, didn't they? Daffy and Donald both had speech impediments. But I'd have to say Daffy in a fight. In a fight with Donald Duck, Daffy would win hands down. So that's 4 questions from Ash 8 for you. So thanks a lot. Cheers, dude. On to Darren Bullsock, sorry. I'm going to have to go make something dinner in a minute. Quite late. If you could have any arcade cabinet in your home, what would it be? Was I have mentioned the old Star Wars arcade cabinet, the sort of the coffin-like one, because that was the one that I have the earliest memories of. Quite fond memories, but also the most iconic one would have to be the Outrun. I'd probably even go. I'd have more than the cabinet. I'd have the car, the tilting. Did it ever tilt? Was there ever a tilting Outrun car? I seem to remember there was, but I never did particularly well at Outrun in the arcades. But I can remember watching a guy do well. But actually, there was a game that I actually completed it. I totally fluked it. I went on holiday once when I was about 14. I wonder if anyone could tell me what it is. It was a sit-in cabinet. It was a tilting cabinet. It was a race. It was a racing game, and it was a Sega game because there was a little Sonic that would hang from the wing mirror on the screen. So that would probably give it away. If anybody can tell me what that game is, when there was a Sonic that hangs from the wing mirror, and every time the car tilted, the little Sonic thing would swing like that. And I actually beat it. I can remember I was on holiday. I can remember like there was this little group of kids all surrounding me. I totally fluked it. I think I'd only ever played it a few times, but there were shortcuts that you could take. So I didn't sort of complete the whole game because I took some of the shortcuts. But and that's probably the one and only arcade game I've ever completed, even though it was a total fluke. So if anybody can tell me what that game is, the one with the Sonic mascot that hangs from the wing mirror that swings. So if anybody could tell me what that is, could you let me know? But I would have to have an outrun, sit down machine. The tilting one. I'm sure it tilted. It did tilt, didn't it? Yeah. What's the worst video game you've ever played and why? Well, recently it's obviously I've done a gameplay video of it. It's Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22 because it's shocking. It's broken. It's just stunted, and all the characters look like they've got rickets, and they just don't move properly. That's that's pretty bad. But I can remember playing quite a few games back on the Amstrad that just weren't even, you could barely call them games, they weren't even playable. You couldn't even get beyond the first screen, or I couldn't. It's probably to do with the fact that I was quite young. But one of the ones that stands out was one of the Ampsoft games, Roland in the Caves. You look like this little springy dude. I think Roland was the Ampsoft mascot, in the way that Sonic was the Sega mascot and Mario was the Nintendo mascot. Roland was the Ampsoft mascot because there were two Roland games on the Amstrad. And Roland in the Caves, right, you were like this little springy dude, and you have to spring from platform to platform to get your way out of the caves. Could never do it. It was impossible. So I'd have to say Roland in the Caves on the Amstrad CPC Foss as well. So thanks to, I've done, 3 questions, Oh shit, sorry, I missed the middle one. Have you ever completed a game multiple times, and if so, which game? I've completed Shining Force multiple times. I've completed Super Mario Land multiple times. I've completed a few. I don't generally. That's the thing with it. I generally don't complete games. Quite a lot of RPGs I've got, and I've played hundreds of hours worth, and never actually got to the point where I completed them. I would just keep a game save just before the final battle. I don't know what that means. It's probably because I don't want it to end, because I've enjoyed it that much. So I don't want to, to end it. But it's quite sad. I'm sure that there are others. Suikoden 2 I've completed multiple times. I'd have to come back to that one actually. There's a few I've completed. So yeah, have to get back to me on that one. I might come back to that in a later video. So I think that's Darren's questions, isn't it? Because sorry, I skipped that middle one. Yeah, so thanks to Darren Walsock.